Hey, good evening. Can't quite seem to get that to match perfectly, but that's okay. Welcome. Kathy Beatty here with Divorce Support Anonymous. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock. For the past over 3 years, I've been coming to you at this time to give you encouragement, to give you hope, to give you direction facing the trauma of divorce. I'm glad you're here. I value your input, your participation. If you have any questions, I would love to have a conversation this evening. So please, you can make a comment here if you'd like, realizing this is a private page and also a public page. I have both of those with Divorce Support Anonymous, so I want you to be aware of that. Don't want any surprises, but you can text me if you'd like to as well. If you have a question, a comment on tonight's topics. I also want to talk to you about November 30th to January 4th. I know, I'm not quite the party thrower, am I, to title it Lonely and Afraid Through the Holidays, but I wanted to be real. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is being real and facing the depression that comes with divorce. So join us. It's Tuesday night, November 30th to January 4th for 6 weeks. We are going to come together to get you through the holidays, not just through them, not just to bear them, but you're going to make some new friends. You're going to get some support. You're going to know that you are not alone in what you're dealing with. And that is incredibly important right now. So join us. You do have to request a registration form. That being, I wanted a confidential group, and I want only those who are really interested in coming together for support, making new friends, having this community to know again that you're not alone and that you are going to get through this Christmas season, holiday season. In fact, this rawness actually is a leverage to participate in the richest of Christmas. And I know that sounds so contrary to what you may be thinking right now about the holidays, especially if it's your first time going through the holidays after divorce. But we're going to just have a really supportive time, and I hope that you will join me. This is open to anyone really in the world. So I don't know where people will come from. You can be as quiet and private as you'd like until you feel that this is a safe group that you want to talk with. But don't miss out. Come and join us on those dates. So tonight I want to talk about depression. So you probably saw that topic on my Facebook post. And it is such an important topic because it is a natural part of the process as you go through divorce. And I have studied this, I have researched this, I have talked with a lot of people who were divorced and also experts, therapists and researchers about divorce. So it was so important, in fact, that I put it in several of my books, the topic. In this book, 30 Days of Healing After Divorce, this is day 4, where we talk about divorce. We talk about divorce, yeah, right. We talk about depression and how we're going to spend one day on it and talking about it. And I'll refer to this more shortly. And then also I talk about it in here in the chapter of grieving and healing. Depression It is such a part of this journey, not one that has to overcome us or derail us, but it's one that allows us to really understand what we're dealing with and what we're going through if we leverage it correctly, if we pay attention to it and we don't ignore it and deny it and stuff it. So we also talk about it here in the emotions and the 4 stages. First stage we talk about is emotions in this book, in the support group. This is a workbook that we use for the support group. So it's one of the first topics that we will discuss as we go through the support group. And then, of course, as we rebuild our life here in this book, it provides a structure and a plan. And when we have structure and a plan and a focus forward, it's going to help us go through our depression. So it's going to vary for all of you. Some of you will need to have a discussion with your doctor, will need some pharmaceuticals to get you through this period of time for a short time. Nothing wrong with that. If that helps you, if that's what your physician believes is going to help you get through it for a time, I encourage you to have that discussion. Very important to do that. So in this book, 30 Days of Healing, which is available, all these are available on Amazon. It starts out like this, and I want to refer to it a little bit, and then we'll develop it further. Where is your deepest sadness? And that's a question that I'd like to start tonight with. Where is that deepest sadness? For some of us, we can't even describe it. We can't even articulate it, but we feel it. It is like a load on our shoulders, our heart, our soul, and we kind of drag through the days because of it. But there is power in identifying exactly where it is and what we are feeling and experiencing. So the question here is, where is your deepest sadness? Does your sadness turn to feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, and guilt? Are you unable to see the potential of tomorrow? And I know that many of you that I'm talking to right now are experiencing this. You know, I remember my own, as I went through my divorce, the very early days, I had to literally talk myself through hour by hour. And many of you are at that same place right now. Dear friend, hold on. I promise you won't stay there. And the reason I know that is because even in watching this short video, you are reaching out for help. You're doing something. You're not surrendering to the depression. You are acting and doing something. Value your tears. Your tears are necessary. They're a way that God made our bodies to actually cleanse and help us to release and relieve the depression. You're tempted to withdraw. I know you are, because it's much easier. It's much easier just to stay in bed and pull your covers over your head. And you know what? There may be a day or two where it's okay to do that. But you can't withdraw permanently, because that's going to be harmful to you. And if our voice and our mental thoughts are the only things we're hearing, that's not healthy. Because our feelings in depression and right now cannot be trusted. Our feelings are not correct. So don't withdraw, seek, step out, even though you don't feel like it, to be able to talk, to find that therapist or pastor or compassionate, knowledgeable friend who's safe, that can allow you to vent, to talk what you need to say. I do want to give you this from a former U.S. Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy. And he states the most prevalent health issue in this country is not cancer or heart disease or obesity. It is isolation. It is not good for our health. So take that to heart. Reach out, even though you may feel like withdrawing. So as we go through depression, we feel like we have no strength. And that's because our physical body is shutting down in many ways. So of course we're not going to feel like we have strength, and that depression is going to make us want to not do anything, or again withdraw, or simply sit and stare into the corner of a room or watch endless Netflix. Well, that might help you for a little time, but it's not going to help you to move forward and to begin the healing. Grieving is important. Depression is important. But these are signals for us to act and to do something, to allow ourselves to grieve, to allow ourselves to release what's going on with us. So depression may be faulty thinking in that we think it's all or nothing. We have real dramatic thinking. I'm either good or I'm rotten. There's nothing in between. We may not be able to see anything positive. This comes with depression. We may again withdraw. We may be believing lies that we have conjured up in our mind or someone else has spoken to us. We may be believing lies. Now, structure is going to help you. Having structure in your day gives you something to look forward to. It may just be 12 o'clock lunch, sandwich, whatever it is, but get more structure in your home. Add more structure. However, some of you may be saying, wait, whoa, I'm overwhelmed because I have so much to do with my kids, with managing the divorce, with running the household. Well, perhaps it is again because we need some more structure. We are just a reflex. We're reacting to everything that's happening in our life instead of being proactive and setting up structure. This is going to help us. It's going to help us feel like we're in control somewhat, because right now we feel like our life is not in control. It's chaos. And again, it's that reflex. So see where are there small areas. I'm not talking about your whole day or your whole life right now. I'm talking about, are there small areas in which you can add some structure to give you a feeling that you're in control? Hope that makes sense. Gratitude journal. Now, some of you may roll your eyes and think, oh, that's kind of corny. It's really helpful. If you can just jot down in a journal, piece of paper, whatever, it doesn't have to be fancy. What am I grateful for today? What is it that there's great to be grateful for? There's always something. Maybe it's my children's health. Maybe it's my health. Maybe it's that you have food on the table, whatever simple things. The sun broke through, you received a phone call from a friend. Take note of those things and find your gratitude, because gratitude, firm believer, gratitude makes our world bigger. So seek that gratitude in which you can begin. So some other things is reach out, find someone, again, as I stated, see your doctor, discuss meds. We talked about that. For many of you, you don't want to talk. Hi, Michael. Good to see you here. Glad you joined us tonight. For many of you, you don't want to talk because you're not really sure what you would say. You don't even know how to describe what you're feeling and what you're going through. But the very process of you trying to talk about it and to release it and identify it is very empowering when it comes to depression. So find someone, and if you find a therapist or a pastor, you're not going to have to sit there and pour everything out. Maybe it's just one small part that you want to talk about. And that's okay. They are going to let you guide the conversation. They may have some very helpful questions to help you be able to articulate and voice what's going on in your head and heart. Another one is to move. Move, move, move. Get up and walk. Get up, go around the block. Go to a mall and walk. Go to a grocery store. Walk the perimeter. Move. Because moving is going to help you. It's going to help fit you physically. It clears your mind. It helps clear your mind. The serotonin, a hormone in your brain, starts rising, and you get to release some of that cortisol that you're building up in depression and adrenaline. You get to release that, and that is going to help you balance out your physical body and also your mind. Listen for that negative self-talk. When you hear something come into your mind, ask for evidence. First, you have to be sensitive to what am I telling myself? I'm telling myself I'm a loser, or I'm not attractive, or whatever lies you may be believing right now and telling yourself. Then you stop and you ask, where's the evidence of that? Now, you may very well say, well, my husband left me or my wife left me. That does not mean that you don't have value or that you're not a beautiful person. It may even mean, and this is something we discuss in the support group, it may actually have nothing to do with you at all. It may have everything to do with that person having issues that they're trying to resolve and you can't fix. So listen for that self-talk, because we're really good at beating ourselves up right now, especially when you're going into depression. It's that anger turned inward. So ask for evidence. Is this truth? Is this truth that I'm telling myself? Is this real? Is this right? A couple of verses. I love the book of Psalms, because Psalms understands what you are going through being human, in depression, struggles, heartache, disappointment. Psalms understands. This verse, why are you so downcast, O my soul? And why are you in turmoil within me? David was asking himself that question. Why are you so sad, my soul? And that question is one that is good for us to ask ourselves, so we can begin to release and identify what's going on with us. I love this one. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. God is the lifter of our head. Ask him to hold you. Ask him to be near to you. And remember, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and he saves those whose spirits are crushed. He longs to meet you where you're at in this very messy depression, pain, and sorrow. And he longs to lift your head, to be able to look into a future, into a life, into hope. I hope that encourages you. Understand you're just in this phase. It will pass, but it requires your attention and your action to do so. See you next Friday night. Kathy Beatty, Divorce Support Anonymous, walking alongside of you through the trauma of divorce.